In this week's episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room, I'm going to take a look at some new Transformers toys, again, and some older Star Wars magazines, so stick around. Hi, and welcome back to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. And like I said, this week we're going to talk about some newer Transformers toys, so let's go straight to Cybertron.
And it goes Transformers, we a die, a box was about to eat us, sometimes. Yeah!
Okay, I think Transformers, probably out of any toy franchise, has had the most reboots, restarts, and re-imaging ever. I'm not even talking about the movies, because honestly, I never want to talk about those movies. But what I'm talking about is all the different cartoons that have been on TV. One of the more recent ones is Robots in Disguise, which I personally loved. My son loves it, and through him watching it, I fell in love with the show. But one of the best things about it are the toys. So let's take a look at a couple of them. First off is Skywarp. Now look at this. Remember the jets, Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker, when we were kids? Right now you can see, without me even transforming it, that this is a beautiful looking jet. We got the Decepticon symbols here on the wings. But if you remember, as I transform him, the old Generation 1 jets, there were a lot of removable parts. The wings had to be removed and placed a different way. The arms were these big cuffs that slid over that you ended up losing, like most of the removable hands back in the day. But they were solid metal, and they were very nice. But this is something special. Now you can see there's his head. And it's the same as the Generation 1s, where it just flips down. But let me turn it towards the camera so you can see. And he's solid, as you can hear the snaps of how things are kept in place. The little posts and stuff, which are nice. And this guy comes with guns as well that go under his wings and that he can hold and look awesome. They're like pistols, so he looks like a cool gunfighter. But they are in my son's big toy box right now. But look at this. An engineering marvel, honestly. I mean, back in the day, how, like I said, the parts would get missing, they would pop off, but everything's right there. And look at that, he's super posable. Ours back in the day weren't this posable. So when he first got him, I loved posing him with his two pistols in different poses. And like I said, they're in my son's toy box right now, and I didn't dig for them. But that is Skywarp from the Robots in Disguise line. It's a great piece, and honestly, if you ever get sick of Transformers one day, this dude is definitely going up on my shelf. Now to the next is Bumblebee. And yes, this is the more movie-styled Bumblebee. But there's an interesting thing about the Robots in Disguise cartoon. I have a hard time trying to figure out where it falls in the chronological order of things and which generation it's spawned off of. Because in the Robots in Disguise line, the Transformers were on Earth. They beat the Decepticons, they gathered up all their stuff and went home. It's 30 odd years later, and a prison transport that was full of Decepticons has crash landed on Earth. So a small band of Transformers have come to Earth, hidden from humans other than the ones that they've befriended, because they don't want to alert the people of Earth that there's going to be another problem or war coming up. And Bumblebee is the leader, because it is believed that Optimus is dead, which that's a whole nother side story. But they allude to him, looking different when he was younger and being a scout before he became a leader. So I like to believe that it's spawned off of Generation 1, and this is just him now stepping up, a la, Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime, that he's a souped up car now than a Volkswagen Bug. And like I said, they talk about how he used to be a scout, which was what he originally was in his small mini-con version. Okay. Always worry about some of these things breaking, so don't mind me. Okay, here we go. Again, superposable. And check this out. I think this is a neat way. Those slide down. And there we go. So, not a bad toy. Yes, I am more fond of the Volkswagen Bug Bumblebee, but this is a darn nice figure, and it's a cool car that's not Michael Bay-anized to look all mechanical and clunky and crappy. Brightly colored, just the way he should be. He's even got a smirk on his face, if you can see that. It's probably super blurry, so I apologize. But he's smirking, believe me. He's just a fun-loving dude who now has this leadership role that he needs to fulfill. Now next, I can't say have a mini-con line, but they have a smaller, cheaper price point line. And that's one thing you have to give the Transformers credit for, is they have many different price points. And you can find the same cars in a $50 model, a $15 model, and a $5 model. But these are some of the $5 cheap ones. And at first I'm like, what a ripoff, because when you look at them in the package at the store. But then when I got these home, and this is a dude named Bisque, little orange cool sports car. But if you think about the mini-cons that we had back in the day, and how rudimentary and simple their transformations were, these seem like an engineering marvel. That these are probably people that could design expansion bridges and things like that. Suspension bridges, sorry. But look at the detail. He's a little crab dude. And that's the one thing I loved about the Decepticons also in this line, is they had a very animalistic look to them. And this dude is a crab. And where is it here? Excuse me as I fuddle around with it. Here we go. His pinchers come out. But they're pretty darn posable for this size. Very simple. Cheap. I mean, we can pick one up pretty much every time we go to Walmart and not feel like we're spending a lot or spoiling the kid. But this is Bisque, and he's a funny character in the show. Now another one is Blur. Very much the same color scheme as the one from Generation 1. And again, very... oh shit. Well, this is one of the things I always like about these new ones. They're very modular. Not like the old ones that if the die cast snapped, you were screwed. Nope, just pop it right back in. And that's great for a little kid who's just now learning how to transform stuff, because accidents are bound to happen, and just snap stuff back into place. But see? Just a notch up higher than the mini cons of our day. A little bit more detail on the face, great paint job, and they're somewhat more posable. I mean, their arms aren't that great, but they have movable knees and stuff. But I love that we have these in the house, and I play with them all the time. But anyway, that's just a look at some of the Robots in Disguise line that's out now. You can find them on your local store shelves. But anyway, that was straight from Cybertron. And now we're going to go not that long ago in a laundry room not that far away. Now, way before there were the DK books that are great for Star Wars, that deconstruct everything, give us great close-ups of everything, production pictures, close-ups of aliens and gear that we hardly even see in the movies, we had one thing to look forward to, and that was STARLOG magazines. STARLOG always would put out like an official magazine to some of the biggest sci-fi blockbusters that were out. Now, I have a couple of the Star Wars ones that I'd like to take a look at today. Now, these were called technical journals. This one's not really that old. This is, let's check, see if we can, 1993-ish. So, this was a little bit before the re-releases, when Star Wars was just starting to ramp up again in the public consciousness. But this is Technical Journal number 1, and its focus is on the planet Tatooine. Now, my copy is a little beat up, unfortunately, but it's still awesome, and it's a treasure trove of great information. And you can always look for the Hamilton collection of plates. So, some of the things we have are, here's a map of Tatooine, at least what we saw in the movies. Some great production, or some sketches, which a lot of them actually came from the West End role-playing game. Here's a moisture evaporator. I always love these model kit ads. Look at these. You got, wow, you even have the Rocketeer, a Red Dragon, Vader, Han, Yoda, C-3PO. Man, I would love to have some of these. Now I see why I never did. 65, 68, 60. Yeah. Got a lot of pictures from the movie. Here's the Millennium Falcon big pull-out. And we have schematic for lightsabers. But these books, like I said, before really the DK ones took off, and you pretty much had books like this and the role-playing games to go off of for any information off the beaten path. Look, Lars Family Speeder. We only saw that for like a millisecond in the garage there, where they're dipping C-3PO in an oil bath. When Luke's playing with his Skyhopper toy. Docking Bay 94. There's Esley Cantina. Map of the Junlin Wastelands. And here's something that I always found interesting. First off, holy shit, anyway. Here's an original picture of a dewback before Lucas got his hands on it and super changed them for the special editions. God damn, I can't believe that ripped. Well, the glue in these is cheap apparently. But anyway, it's not like I ever plan on selling this, it's just for me. Here's a crate dragon. Something that was always talked about within the video, or some of the video games and role-playing game. But that's some of the artwork that we saw. C-3PO, R2-D2. Here's Sarlacc pit. What it looks like under the sand. But anyway, let's hope I have better luck with the next one, which was number 3. And it's a technical journal for the Rebel Forces. Oh, look at this Super Nintendo ad. Same plate ad that I showed. Pretty much all the same ads. This also came out in... This is 94. But we got... Oh, look at this. Now here's another big pull out of the X-Wings. Here's a cross-section one. A-Wings. A lot on the A-Wing. Y-Wings. Here we got the B-Wing, which I always thought was a cool ship. There's the Blockade Runner. But unfortunately, with all the expanded universe and the, I guess, disintegration of the expanded universe and all the different novels that have come out over the years, this will always be my Star Wars. I still dig out my encyclopedia from the 80s to read this stuff. I know they've built on it, expanded on it, changed things, but I'm still, the kid that read these and the encyclopedia, and look at these pewter figures. God, I want that Wicked one. It's super bad. How much did he go for? $12.50. I should have got that. Oh, they even have a little Boba Fett one here at the top. But anyway, like I said, this stuff was my Bible growing up. This is what I would read to get all the info. And I still hold it in high regard today. But anyway, that's just a look at a couple Star Wars magazines, and yeah, feel really embarrassed that the one ripped up, but oh well, what you gonna do? Anyway, until next time, keep being rad, stay dorky. My name is Rob, this is My Side of the Laundry Room, and this has been It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. Peace!